there, right above the trees. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
You know, I grew up in Southern California. Hunting, I was familiar with it. My dad hunted. When I moved to Utah and had the opportunity to work for Desert Tech was really the first time I was exposed to guns to the extent that, you know, working in the gun industry, you know, I'm dealing with them every day. And everybody would have stories about hunting or when they took their rifle out and they would hunt elk or deer, bear, you know, all sorts of different animals. And so having listened to everybody's stories, and I kind of had a desire to experience that for myself. And so it wasn't until like a year and a half ago that I decided to give it a go, see how I'd like it. I think I went into this thinking it was going to be a lot easier than it was. And it may be because the people that I work with or, you know, work around that hunt all the time make it sound so easy. And that's because they've been doing it for years, or they're very good shooters, and they just have a lot of that experience. So I didn't expect it to be that difficult. I was wrong. Me as an individual, I've grown up in hockey, competitive hockey, so always been extremely competitive, and so, you know, this would be no different. The day was finally upon us that we were going to get together and meet. It was a Saturday morning and drove up the mountain. I think we got up to about 10,000 feet elevation. It was really dark and super cold. It had just snowed, and we're waiting for the sun to come up and kind of hanging out, drinking coffee, trying to stay warm, telling stories about other hunting trips, or I was more listening at that point. And we were seeing a lot of deer initially. Couldn't put horns on anything, but it seemed like it was going to be a pretty promising day, just given the sheer numbers of deer we were putting eyes on. Clouds started rolling in, a storm came in, and visibility dropped to, basically 10 yards in front of you. And it just had a feeling about it, right? It just seemed like a good time that we were gonna see something. We're looking for bucks, and we get eyes on a buck, and you know, it's one of those things when the moment hit, right, it was go time. We hadn't hiked much, but my heart started racing a little bit and my breathing was elevated a little bit. I'm trying to keep calm. My fingers are numb because it's cold. It feels very rushed. He's walking up to this ridge and we know that he's not gonna be there for that long. I take a crack at him and miss, no call. Jeff says, just center yourself, man. It happens. People miss all the time. You know, don't let it get in your head. So we decided to go down to a different part of the canyon. We get down, we start hiking on this trail. All of a sudden, there's a buck, you know, get ready to go. So I get down, I'm looking at him. We realize there's two of them. So Dustin's on his gun as well. Dustin was gonna get the first shot, so I mentioned him. I asked him which one he wanted. He picked the one to the left, so I was focused on the one on the right. Waited for Dustin to take his shot, and you hear it go off, and as soon as it did, then the deer started to run. So I felt rushed. That I didn't know how much time I was going to have to take a shot at this deer before he disappeared and was gone too, like the first one. And so I felt rushed, and the shot wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be, but I was able to get a good follow-up shot that finished the job. It was an interesting experience, or feeling, I guess. You know, I didn't know what to anticipate going into that, how I would feel post killing a deer, killing my first deer.
It was intense. It happened.
I know I can shoot very well with this platform, and I've done it for years. And having seen the shot that I took and it not stack up to what I know I can do, it just kind of makes me want to do it again and prove to myself that I can do it. And again, the experience of dealing with all of the other variables that I wasn't expecting, the urgency, the increased heart rate, the heavy breathing, a rushed shot, a moving target, all of those things combined, and being able to put that all together and get a good shot and be successful is what I'm hoping to get next go around. We tend to do grill burgers at Desert Tech quite frequently, and so now I have something to contribute since I've never hunted before, and usually everybody else brings their game meat in, so now I can partake and know that I contributed. I really enjoyed it, just being out in nature and hiking around, braving the elements, I guess. That was, it was fun. It was wet and cold, but it was neat being out there and trying to stalk an animal and get a good shot. I feel like I'm fairly proficient with this rifle, and I don't feel like I performed as well with this particular hunt, but I'm hoping that I can get back out there, do it again, and prove to myself that I can do it. That is by far the best hunting rifle I've ever hunted with. It's an exceptional platform. I think there are definitely great applications for it in hunting. I feel more confident behind this rifle than I do pretty much any other rifle that I shoot, and so for that reason, for me, then this is what I would want to hunt with in the future. So I thoroughly enjoyed this hunt, and I'm really looking forward to the next hunt that's right around the corner. So I'll get another chance, and I'm excited about that.